Today on Tyria Talk, I go over everything you need to know about the Flame and Frost Retribution patch for Guild Wars 2, and I can't seem to find my poodle anywhere. Let's get to it. Howdy folks, and welcome back to another episode of Tyria Talk. My name is Richie, aka Otter, and this show is all about Guild Wars 2. Today's episode number 52, and today we're going to be talking about the Flame and Frost Retribution patch, which is set to drop on April 30th, which could actually be today, depending on when you're viewing this video. So I'm going to go over the high-level features of what this patch is all about. This is not going to be a review of the patch notes or anything, because those aren't released yet. And let's start off with the thing I'm probably most excited about, is this new Living Story dungeon. They're including a dungeon called the Molten Weapon Facility, and this is going to kind of be the grand finale for the Living Story arc that's been unfolding since January, right? We got introduced to the Living Story in January. It's been slowly rolling out over the past few months. We got introduced to the Char rocks and the Norn Bram through some instances that kind of arrived in March. But now we're going to be able to join those two and go into a dungeon with our friends and defeat the Molten Alliance. So in case you don't know, the Molten Alliance is made up of the Flame Legion Char and the Dredge. They've teamed up, and they've kind of been wreaking havoc over some of the lower level zones and creating refugee camps, or forcing people into refugee camps because their homes have been destroyed. And now we're going to go into this dungeon and take them out. Now, this dungeon's been designed from the end of the dungeon forward. They have this really cool boss fight that they've been teasing with a bunch of mechanics, and they're going to introduce you to those mechanics earlier on. And they've just basically been saying that it's going to be a lot more complicated. The monsters are going to have these abilities and such that you're really going to have to stay on your toes and think about what you're doing in order to defeat, including some mechanics that you can actually jump over. The boss might be doing some things on the ground, and you can actually leap over them and stuff. So I don't have a lot of details on that yet, but I assume I'll be making some videos about it once it's released, so stay tuned for that. Now, it's also going to be something that there's only going to be one version of it. There's not like a story and explorable mode. And they said that the difficulty of that is going to be somewhere in between them. So maybe not as hard as some of the explorable modes, but definitely not as easy as the story modes. So look forward to that. And anything else I know about that? Let me see. No, I think that's good. That's probably the thing I'm most excited about. And it's only going to be in the game for a limited time, which is interesting. We know basically Guild Wars 2 is a lot about these limited time event things now, right? They only want things in their item shop for a limited time. They only want things like this dungeon or like the super adventure box to be in there for a limited time. I think this is really their way of getting people to come into the game now, right? If things just are going to be out forever, it's like, all right, I'll get around to that when I'm finished playing this game. But with the no sub model, they need a reason for people to jump into that game now, and I think this is kind of their way. So if you're interested in seeing how the Living Story finishes up, there's going to be like different weapon skins and stuff that you can acquire, or we'll have to see what the rewards are exactly. But yeah, so dive in, and there is going to be weapon skins. Speaking of weapon skins, on the gem store, you're going to be able to get like Bram and Rox's weapons. I think it's like a mace and a shield and a quiver and a bow. So I think you can direct buy that. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but that's kind of what they've alluded to. So stay tuned for those weapon skins. Now let's move on to PvP. There's two huge changes coming to PvP in this patch. One is they're introducing custom arenas, which we've known they're going to, they were working on for a long time now. Custom arenas are only, and both these features that I'm about to mention for PvP, both custom arenas and spectator mode, are kind of like a limited release, kind of a beta right now. So it's not fully fleshed out features yet, but the custom arena is going to be available to like the top 50 players in each region. And you can actually go ahead and play and tweak. And what it is it's basically your own kind of PvP lobby where you can kind of set permissions. You can put a password on it, invite only have certain people be able to go in, or you can make it public. You can kind of set all kinds of parameters. I mean, there's a huge list I can go off here. I mean, you can name it, you can put a password on it, you can put a message of the day, you can set the team size, the score limit, the time limit, the respawn time, the respawn type, whether it's wave or individual, minimum number of players, reserve spots, can you allow spectators, all this kind of stuff, auto balance, lock skills, all kinds of stuff. You can ban players, and you basically can set it up with your guild or your friends, and you can go in and you can practice, you can go over tactics, you can try different team compositions, see how they fare against each other. You're going to probably be able to set up community events. I've already seen a couple posts about that people are going to set up these tournaments or different things in these custom arenas. So it's going to be rolled out just to the top 50 players at first. From each region, but eventually they're going to have it be leasable from the gem store. You're going to be able to buy a starter kit for it, and other players can actually contribute like time tokens to keep your custom arena open more. So you can actually gift, you can give the gift of time to somebody who owns a custom arena, which is pretty cool. So that's one thing. The other thing is the spectator mode. And you're going to be able to start watching matches. You can, they have fixed camera angles. They also have the ability to fly around and watch other players. The caveat on this for right now is it's going to be anything that doesn't affect like tournament ranks at this point. So you can do you can spectate on hot joinable and in custom arenas that allow it, but not on any of the tournaments at first. They said that it's to kind of prevent cheating. But there's going to they have a way to solve this that we're going to find out more about it in the future. I assume they're going to put some sort of delay on it, so that you're not watching it absolutely live. If you give it a couple second delay like most other games do, then that should stop any kind of cheating. But they did mention that they will release that later on once they figure out exactly what they're doing. They will announce that. They definitely want to cultivate people to be able to do shoutcasting and stuff like that. So finally, the esport thing is starting to roll. These are two huge features for those people that are serious into PvP. I know they're limited release, but just be patient, and it looks like we're about to see some big things on that front. World versus World getting a couple new things. There's going to be new siege weapons that have your guild logo on it. You can also purchase a back banner with your guild logo on it, which you can go around in World versus World and kind of look like your guild because you have this flag basically planted and fused into your spine. It looks like a very painful surgery, but so that's going to be in the game. There's also new arrow cart abilities, which we don't know exactly what it is yet, but that sounds cool. So there's new things you can do with World versus World. I think there's different progression lines as well that you can open up. So I don't have all the details on that. There's also new guild missions going in. There is a new guild rush that's going to transform your guild into Quaggan as you race through Frost Gorge Sound. That sounds really fun. There's also about 30 new guild trek locations so that you can rack your brain trying to find these things in a very small time frame. So those are like the major things that we know about right now that are going into this patch. I want to see if I missed anything here. No, I think I covered it. It sounds like a pretty action-packed patch, especially because we also got Super Adventure Box at the early part of this month, which is cool. Now, a couple little side things. One, we know that they're going to be looking to split out some abilities between PvP, World versus World, and PvE. They did that a little bit a while ago, several months ago. They split some things that did different amounts of damage in PvE versus PvP. But they're going to make more splits and maybe even restore some nerfs that they made to certain abilities because they wanted to fix one area of the game, but it actually hurt other areas. So, and they're also going to split up PvE and World versus World for the first time. We don't know what abilities are being impacted by this yet, but definitely stay tuned because that is something that's going to make players happy. It's not going to change the functionality of those abilities from what they've said, but more like the numbers, right? So it might do more damage here and less damage there just to kind of mitigate things a little bit there. For example, let me give you an example. I don't know if this is in for sure, but if you make pets, right, immune or take a lot less damage to AoE abilities, that's great for PvE, right? Because that's a common complaint in dungeons or in fractals that, your pets just die anytime there's huge AoE because it's hard. You can't really control them or get them out of it very well, and they just die. But in a, PvP or World versus World environment, no, you kind of want the pets. You want to be able to kill enemy pets by using a lot of AoE. So those are the kind of things they can tweak the numbers on and make it kind of separate. I thought there was another thing I wanted to mention, but my brain is starting to slip, old age and stuff like that. Let me just think for a second. What else could I do here? Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention is Super Adventure Box is going away. as of this patch. It is going to go away. The weapon skins and stuff like that are disappearing. And Super Adventure Box will come back at some point with the different worlds opened up, different levels. But from what they've mentioned, it's going to be a new set of weapon skins in the reward vendor. So please, if you want these ones that are on there now, go ahead and farm it now, or otherwise you're going to be stuck buying them at a very high price on the trading post. So there's my little warning to you there. But it might be too late by the time you watch this video. So oh well, there goes that great warning. Okay, so that's going to wrap things up. So like and favorite this video, please. It helps me out a ton. And subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified when future videos are released. I'd also recommend, if you want to contact me, you can follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus or Twitch. And I'll put all that information on the screen. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day and take care. Look, I found him. Isn't that exciting? Aren't you excited? He looks excited. Is there anything you'd like to say? I love you. You do? Oh, that's so nice of you to say.